Namaskar. Welcome to another episode of Editorial. We have become a land where we cannot ask questions to our Prime Minister. We cannot question the Prime Minister. We have become a land where there is no press conference when the Prime Minister is concerned. He talks, we listen. Now, the reason I get this topic in front of you is because this is going to ultimately harm the country. This is going to harm the country in more ways than one, and I'm going to discuss why it's going to harm the country. Let's get right into the show. So, Joe Biden, after the G20 Summit, like they normally do, was, I think, expecting a press conference. But he didn't see a press conference. He got into his plane, went to the next destination, that is Vietnam, and the first thing he did was press conference. And in the press conference, he said that, as I always do, please take these words very carefully, as I always do, I raised the importance of respecting human rights, the vital role of civil society, and a free press, and building a strong and prosperous country with Mr. Modi. We got a lot of important work done.
I want to once again thank Prime Minister Modi for his leadership and his hospitality in hosting the G20. He and I have had substantial discussions about how we're going to continue to strengthen the partnership between India and the United States, building on the Prime Minister's visit to the White House last June. And as I always do, I raised the importance of respecting human rights and the vital role the civil society and the free press have in building a strong and prosperous country with Mr. Modi. And we've gotten a lot of important work done, and I'm looking forward to another good day tomorrow here in Vietnam.
He also thanked Mr. Narendra Modi for a fantastic event, great hospitality, and good leadership of that event. Of course, 140 crores of Indians spend 4,100 crores for that spectacular event. That said, why would a president of America specifically talk about human rights and press freedom when he refers to Modi? Why would he do that? Unless and until he believes that there is some problem here. Unless and until he is surprised as to why there is no press conference. Okay, let's forget Biden because he doesn't guide our life. Let's forget Biden and let's forget America. Let's talk about us. Why is a press conference important in India? Why is a press conference important to you and to me? I am a small journalist, but I have questions to ask my Prime Minister about the people that I normally talk, think, and work for. And that is the middle class Indians. You see, bank takes 70% haircuts in 612 resolved cases so far. This is a statement from the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India. They say that banks and financial institutions have taken a hefty haircut of as much as 70% in 612 corporate insolvency resolution case, which ended in resolution till December 31st, 2022, according to the quarterly newsletter of the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India. On the total admitted claim of 8.3 lakh crore under Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, creditors have realized rupees 2.5 lakh crore under the resolution plan. This works out as 30% recovery rate. Rich, super rich people, huge conglomerates, huge business houses, they don't pay. They don't pay. Look at this photograph. Look at this photograph on your screen. Now, this lady is being manhandled by the police. She has been manhandled by the police because they say that she incidentally went and manhandled police first. But all the same, you know why is this skirmish? Because these people are trying to throw her out of her house. And you know why she is being thrown out of her house? Because she couldn't pay back her loan. So a common man has to be thrown out of our house. Need be, we will be picked up and thrown out physically, need be. But a super rich man couldn't care less. He pays 30%. 100 rupees loan, 30 rupees he pays, goes home. Nothing happens. He still stays in his air-conditioned bungalow. He still roams around in his super luxury car. Like I said, he stays in his palatial home. He has his assets and he does his vacations abroad whenever he feels like. But a common Indian, he doesn't pay an EMI. That scooter of his is taken and gone. They pick him up on the street. So-called recovery agents come, pick him on the street, catch him by his collar, pull him out and take the rickshaw and go, take the scooter and go. The scooter he bought so that he could reach his house, reach his office, and he could pay less, at a lesser amount, because he couldn't afford public transport. That scooter goes. Recently, I got somebody writing into me that the person was threatened. He was almost in a state of depression, threatened by recovery agents. I want to ask the Prime Minister as to why these two treatment. Different treatment to the rich and different treatment to the poor and the middle class. I want to ask my Prime Minister, why? Is he the Prime Minister of the rich or is he the Prime Minister of the poor? If he is the Prime Minister of the poor, then sort my problem out. Why am I put into trouble where rich man gets away with 30%? Please answer this. I don't get the logic. I do not get the logic. I am sure you have to give a lot of impetus to wealth creators, a lot of impetus and a lot of support to wealth creators. But is this how you are going to give support to wealth creators? Where they get away without paying public money, loan, and one EMI missed and we get abuses. This is a real problem. I want to ask my Prime Minister this. Will I get an opportunity to ask? Because the only opportunity that the Prime Minister gives people, the people who will ask him as to whether he has his mango chopped or boiled. This is the question I want to ask. You see, I want to ask my Prime Minister as to, according to the Oxfam report, 1% rich owns 40% of nation's wealth. I want to ask my Prime Minister, when will this divide end? Because what's happening is with things like this, you're giving haircuts to super rich, this divide is only going to increase. This divide is only going to increase. How is he going to sort this out? How is he going to ensure that there is some kind of an equilibrium maintained between the rich and the abject poverty-stricken person in this country? Some kind of an equilibrium. Because that person is suffering for his 2 square meal. That person is suffering because he doesn't have a roof over his head. That person is suffering. Whereas the rich, he gets away with 10, 15, 20,000 crore loan. I want to ask my Prime Minister, is it a valid question? Now, a lot of you will ask me, what were you doing? Which is what I normally get. So let me answer that also. What were you doing when Congress was in power? Baba, I would put Congress back in power. I will ask the same question to Congress leader also. You put them in power. How can you ask people who are not in power the question? I will ask the person who is in power the question. And that's precisely why I tell my Prime Minister, give me a chance to ask you a question. I am a journalist, maybe a small one. But the fact is, I have the right, according to the constitution of this country, according to the tenets of democracy, I have the right to ask you that question. Prime Minister, you had said that government works for women empowerment and leadership. I know I've been asking this question every day, but I will continue to ask this question every day. Women empowerment and leadership? Forget women empowerment and leadership. Let's talk about justice for women. What happens to those Manipur girls? The girls who were paraded naked, the girls who were killed after being raped. What happens to them? What actions have been taken? And what actions have been taken to ensure this never happens in this country, a civilized country like ours? What actions have been taken? What women empowerment are we talking about? Do I have the right to ask my Prime Minister? Do I have the right to ask my Prime Minister that what happens to this MP of yours? MP in Uttar Pradesh, a Bharatiya Janata Party MP, is accused of sexual harassment. Sexual harassment on wrestlers. The Delhi police charge sheet says that he has done it. The verdict is still to be out. The point is, isn't it prudent and isn't it, if you are so bothered and so conscious and you talk about zero tolerance to sexual abuse, if that's true, isn't it prudent to get him out of or suspend him as an MP? Because as an MP, he's got the power of the country, he's got the power of the state with him. He's got constitutional power with him. With that power, don't you think he can manipulate? He could manipulate the witnesses? Isn't it simple that you ensure that he is suspended till such time that he is either proven guilty or innocent? If he is proven innocent with apologies, get him back. But have we done it? If not, then what women empowerment are we talking about? What happens to Bilkis Banu? She is running from pillar to post. Sir, have you met her? I want to ask you this. Have you met her? A lady who was raped by 11 people, her family killed in front of her while she was raped. I'm asking justice for her. She's asking justice for herself. Have you met her, sir? What are you doing to ensure that she gets justice? That's the question I would want to ask you, sir. And that's why I'm asking you, begging you for a press conference. The Prime Minister had said that he will fight three evils. The Prime Minister had said that he will fight the evil of nepotism, he'll fight the evil of corruption, he'll fight the evil of appeasement. Sir, this picture let me show you. This gentleman's name is Jay Shah. He's the son of Amit Shah. Sir, how many cricket matches has he played? What gives him an edge or talent or knowledge of becoming a BCCI head? What is that he has? If this is not nepotism, sir, what is? This is the question I would want to ask you. What happens to people of Karnataka government, the erstwhile Karnataka Bharatiya Janata Party government, where everybody spoke about corruption in Karnataka government? It was called as a 40% government. What happens to those people, sir? Why not one person is behind bars? You said you are going to eradicate corruption. Contractors committed suicide there. But no minister was put behind bars. What happens to that, sir? And appeasement? Sir, appeasement means pleasing a particular community. If the Congress pleases the minority, the Bharatiya Janata Party is pleasing the majority. So have we eradicated appeasement? Is it fair for all? This is the question I want to ask you, sir. And I am hoping to get an answer. You see, the reason I do this editorial and the reason I raise topics like this is because this concerns all of us. And believe me, this is not about just Narendra Modi. You see, this is about an attitude, a legacy that has been initiated by the Narendra Modi government. This legacy, this attitude is going to continue. That's exactly what happened in the India meeting. Wherein first Jairam Ramesh came and said, three of our leaders have left, don't ask why and all that. And then he said that no, there's no question, end of story. We said what we wanted to say and we walked out. This is what the alternative is doing. This is what the alternative is doing. This is what India Alliance is doing. We have set a dangerous precedence rolling. We have set a dangerous precedence rolling. A precedence where you don't have to care a damn about press. A precedence where you abuse press. A precedence where you abuse reporters. It is okay. It is okay. Because any reporter asking a question which doesn't suit you is a reporter from the opposition party. So if you ask a question, of course you never can ask a question to the Prime Minister, so one doesn't know what happens. But if you ask a question to an opposition, he will blame that you are from the opposition party. This happens. You've set a precedence. And this precedence is going to cause serious harm to our democracy. You have set a precedence by involving ED, IT, these investigating agencies. In fact, it is not Narendra Modi who set that precedence. It was set by the UPA government. UPA government did this much, Modi did this much. And the next government, your guess is as good as mine. The point I am trying to make is, our democracy is going to get crushed. We are going to cease to be democracy. Democracy, the first tenet of democracy, the first principle of democracy, the first rule of democracy is that the leader is answerable. If the leader is not answerable, then he doesn't become a leader, he becomes a ruler, he becomes an autocrat. The difference between a leader becoming an autocrat and a ruler and a democratically elected servant of the people is when he starts answering. It is Narendra Modi who said, I am public servant, Pradhan Sevak. It is he who said it. I am not saying it. And if he is Pradhan Sevak, he is answerable. He is an elected member, whether he calls himself Pradhan Sevak or whatever, he is answerable. And that's all I'm asking. Answer our questions. Answer our questions. You are a fabulous orator. I'm sure you can do better than saying that आप फकीर अभी से है कि पहले से थे और आप आम काट के खाते हो कि उबाल के खाते हो. You can do much better than that. You're capable of that, I'm sure.
आपसे हमेशा देश रखता है, इसमें कोई शक नहीं. लेकिन एक चीज साफ दिखती है मोदी जी कि आपको अपने लिए कुछ नहीं चाहिए. एक फकीरी है आपके स्वभाव में. ये कहां से आई? क्या आप हमेशा से ऐसे ही थे या धीरे 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 फकीरी आती चली गई?
By the way, Mr. Prime Minister, it was a fantastic speech.
Thank you.
There was a lot of humor. आप काफी हंसी मजाक भी कर रहे थे उस स्पीच में, जो शायद एक तरह से यूनिक था. वो भी अप्रिशिएट कर रहे थे. इम्प्रॉम्प्टू था क्या वो?
क्या हमारे प्रधानमंत्री आम खाते हैं? ये भी उसका क्वेश्चन है कि आम खाते हैं, और अगर खाते हैं तो क्या काट के खाते हैं या ऐसे गुठली के साथ खाते हैं? मतलब होता है ना, वॉश बेसिन के ऊपर खड़े होके गुठली के साथ आम खाना, उसका मजा ही कुछ और होता है. तो मैं जानना चाहूंगा कि आप आम खाते हो?
एक तो मैं आम खाता भी हूँ और आम खाना मुझे बहुत पसंद भी है.
अच्छा.
आप फकीरों की तरह रहते हैं, आप फकीर अपने आप को बताते हैं, और दूसरी तरफ आपका परिवार भी इतना बड़ा, 100-125 करोड़ का आपका परिवार है. छुट्टी आप कभी नहीं लेते, और मैंने ये सुना है कि जब आप विदेश दौरे पर जाते हैं तो रात में ट्रैवल करते हैं, कहीं आप रात में रुकते नहीं हैं, हवाई जहाज में आप अपनी रात बिताते हैं. तो ये एज में अभी इतनी एनर्जी आप कैसे लेकर आते हैं? क्योंकि आपकी उम्र में बाकी लोग शायद कल्पना भी नहीं कर सकते. और आज आपकी एनर्जी ऐसी है कि कोई देश के जो युवा हैं उनको भी शायद शर्म आ जाए.
Answer questions, Prime Minister. That's what I request you to do. Till I see you next time. That's tomorrow at 10. Namaskar.